Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you finally with the Colossus Build-A-Figure himself. You guys went with me through all of the second wave of the Age of Apocalypse from Marvel Legends, and this guy looks so delicious. I cannot wait to put him together. At the time of this recording, if you guys still want to get the wave, I saw that it is available on Big Bad Toy Store. And if you want to know what piece is what, the right leg comes with Legion, the left leg comes with Cyclops, the right arm and the punching hand come with Iceman, the left arm and punching hand come with Rogue, the body comes with Shadowcat, and the head and the bandana comes with Sabretooth. So without further ado, let's put this guy together. I cannot wait. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but it's just too much has been going on. So let's see here. We got the right leg. Yeah. And the left leg. Sorry, let me just blur you guys. Brrr. Left leg done. Now let's zoom out, because now Petey's starting to get kind of big here. Let's see, this is the left arm here. Right arm. Let's see if it's actually going to do it. Click. Click. We are 4 for 4 right now. But I can tell right now this figure is stiff. Oh my god. Trying to get some of this stuff in, it's like, yeah, this is definitely going to need to be warmed up. And then for the Sabretooth Doohickey Dogger, this is a little peg. Gonna go allegedly in here. Like so. Now let's get back on the body. Fingers crossed. Oh, the head's gonna be a turd. It's gonna be a turd! And here's Peter Rasputin put together, looking absolutely amazing, and Age of Apocalypse comic book accurate. This figure thus far is exquisite, guys. This is one you definitely want in your collection if you're a huge X-Men fan and a manic Age of Apocalypse fan like I am. So I could sit here and gloat all day, but instead let's get him down off the spinner and let's look further into this amazing piece from Hasbro. Now, backstory on Peter Rasputin of Earth 295. Along with his older brother Mikhail, they were super Soviet soldiers. When Apocalypse's forces came to Moscow, Mikhail fought them off, but was captured and forced to become a horseman of Apocalypse. When all of Russia's superheroes were destroyed at the hands of his brother, Colossus left Russia to find the X-Men. During his first mission, Colossus fought Sabretooth, saving the life of Catherine Pride, and Colossus fell in love with her and they eventually married. After, though, the long years of fighting, Colossus lost the will to fight. In Wakanda, he and Kitty decided to retire from the X-Men. Though as a final favor to Magneto, they agreed to teach the next generation of mutants. And Colossus came out of retirement when Magneto offered him and Shadowcat an important mission. They were to save Colossus's sister, Illyana, from the Portland core. Unaware that his sister was alive, Peter was prepared to do anything to save her. The Generation Next team infiltrated the core to rescue Illyana, and after finding her, Colossus demanded Kitty evacuate Illyana immediately, leaving their students behind. Now, although Colossus did return for them, it was too late. As he peered into the core, only one student, Husk, remained standing. With all of his might, he tried to force the closing gate open. But after seeing that Husk was the only one left, he was overcome with grief and the gates shut in his face. Colossus, Shadowcat, and Illyana joined the X-Men to save Magneto from Apocalypse's clutches, though when he learned the reality of Magneto's plan to save a reality where his sister was dead, Peter snapped. He tried to follow Illyana into the Imkron crystal, but Shadowcat stepped in front of him, believing with all her heart he would stop. He didn't. Colossus crushed and killed her. Insane with grief, he was killed by Gambit before he could harm anyone else. X-Men Omega, the way that it kind of ends on Colossus' story arc is tragic and heartbreaking. And it just adds to how Peter's always been kind of your tragic hero. Highly recommend checking out X-Men Alpha, Generation Next, and of course X-Men Omega. So with that out of the way, let's talk about this character. In addition to the punching hands, he also, from the Build-A-Figure waves, I believe it's the punching hands come with Rogue and Iceman, as I said. And then he also has grabbing hands. The silver, done well. Love that kind of mechanical, organic feel to it. Matches the rest of him quite well. And I'm glad that with this wave we actually got some accessories with all the figures, as were that first wave. It was kind of frustrating that we got Jack. I was not okay with that. Now, as for the figure himself, the other kind of accessory he comes with is this headband, which you got to be careful putting in. You don't want to break it. And you can twist it around, which I'm glad that it's not static. So you can kind of get different directions you want to put it. And I love the paint apps. I mean, look at the silver on this guy. He just shines so great. And I don't know, just having him overly muscular in the Age of Apocalypse, I thought was kind of a neat idea, especially since they had to be super buff to take on Apocalypse's forces. And this essentially is what he looks like in the books. The reds look great. Love the anger in his face, just that, because in this universe, a lot of the compassion that we know from Peter Rasputin is not there. The only time you really ever see it is with Ileana and Kitty, but towards the rest of the X-Men and whatnot, he's just a very angry, embittered character. And the thing about the Age of Apocalypse I always thought was interesting is how everyone always had all these studs and metal. I don't get it. I'm just probably an aesthetic choice, but whatever. Now, the one thing is I love how these are loose. They can come off. But the one thing that's going to irk your gurk the most about this character is his belt. Look at how tiny they made that button. You have to line it up, and when you start trying to get him into good poses, it's going to pop off. You're going to have to put it back on, repose him, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to drive you fracking nuts super freaking quick. Now, as for the rest of the paint-outs, the yellow looks good. Just love that oversized 90s shoulder pad. Love the attention to detail as the mask pulls back into a knot here. Looks great. Boots. Absolutely awesome. And surprisingly, for a bigger, beefier character, the articulation's not all that bad. So head can come down that far. Head can go up that much. Twist. Twist, and then you get a little bit of play. So that's cool. And I'm glad that these don't hinder. I'm glad that they're loose so that you can actually get that range on both sides. And see how it's loose so it moves so you can actually get the full 360. Bigger character so you can kind of get single jointed elbows. That's okay. Hands do go down, up, spinny, spinny. Can look down. That's how much of the back you get. Now look at this. I crunched him back. The belt. The fracking belt. I wish that they would have made this damn thing longer so that when you pop it in, it stays. And because we're collectors, you don't want to glue that shut because then that kind of messes with the value. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think if you'd be willing to glue that freaking thing shut. He does twist there, kicks out. And of course, he's stopped by the ever-loving hard butt flap, so you can't go that way. Legs go up that much. Single jointed knees, but you still get a good running pose out of this dude. Foot go down, foot go up, foot go twisty, twisty. So yeah, for a bigger dude that you can relatively get into a decent running pose and still get some good like punching range out of, And this does pop out a lot, so you got to be careful. Thankfully, it does go back in, so it could be kind of a pain in the butt, but whatever. But I mean, look at that. Just on the quick fly, you kind of get him into a semi running pose. Not the greatest looking running pose, but it looks great. And then once you get him balanced, he's going to look absolutely awesome. I mean, look at that. I am coming for you, Colossus Apocalypse. I decided to throw up both waves of the Age of Apocalypse, the Sugar Man wave, and then of course the current Colossus wave. And these guys look like they jumped out of the pages of those 1995 comic events. Of course, the only one that still kind of irks my gurk, of course, is Cyclops. Whoever worked on that figure must have really hated Scott Summers, because so much potential for that one, and they just shat the bed, essentially. But other than that, guys, I mean, look, Morph, Dark Beast, the Deluxe Apocalypse, Magneto, Rogue, Nathan Summers, Legion, Wild Child, Sunfire, Iceman, Jean, well, you call her Shadowcat, don't call her Kitty in this universe, Weapon X, Sabretooth, and then, of course, the, what's his name? Colossus Build-A-Figure piece. And then the big Sugar Man there in the back. If you were a huge fan of this event, which I feel like this was like the pinnacle of Marvel's events, these waves just speak volumes to me. And I'm hoping that maybe Hasbro will give us another wave. I'd love to see Colossus's Generation Next team with a Mondo Build-A-Figure, or just a regular Generation X team as well. Nonetheless, if you guys have been collecting these like I have, these are going to look great on your shelf. They look beautiful when you do action figure photography. Let us know what y'all plan on doing with all these wonderful figures. And we love to see your photos over on our social media pages. I know it took me a little while to go through this wave, guys, but this was one of the phenomenal X-Men lines, in my opinion. Being able to finally have Colossus and Shadowcat together like that, it just sweeps me off my feet. I do wish, however, I will say this, as much as I love the figures that we got from this wave, it would have been awesome if this was an Age of Apocalypse Generation Next wave and we got Colossus, Kitty, Husk, Chamber, Skin, and then maybe make like Mondo a deluxe figure or something with like Vincent or something like that. I don't know, and maybe like, you know, on top of that, because Vincent was like the smoke character, and then maybe have like a little tiny Ileana Rasputin. That would have been kind of a cool Age of Apocalypse deluxe set, kind of like how we got with Colossus. But with that said, beautiful wave, excellent figures. Love to hear what you guys think. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is that you get your comics and action figures. And also, if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little X bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next. Hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.